Hey there folks, how you doing today? Man, I tell you what, it is cold. If you'll notice, I'm not doing my characteristic talking with my hands that I normally do, and that is the whole purpose of this little video. So this video is going to be part of a continual series I'm going to be working on in the next couple of months concerning preparedness. I'm not talking about end of the world as we know it without rule of law type preparedness, but rather just common sense things that you can do to increase your chances of survival in the event that things go sideways. And by things going sideways, I mean anything that happens that is unexpected or out of the norm that could potentially cause you a problem. I think the high yesterday was somewhere around 20 degrees here where I live. I received a call at work yesterday from my wife telling me that we had lost water. I received another call from the family that lives behind us that indicated that they had lost water. And I figured that probably the loss of water last night was weather related. Reader's Digest condensed version, I'm not going into all the details, but there's about 20 acres right here that consists of 5 households. Out of those 5 households, 4 of them share a community well. And our house is one of the ones on that well, and a couple of times a year it requires some maintenance. I do a very large portion of that maintenance, and because I was at work yesterday, I was unable to attend to it immediately, and as a result I found myself from about 9:30 last night until the wee hours of the morning out there in the field using headlights and a flashlight to work on the well to get water restored to the 4 households that are right here. We'll leave it at that. The water's back on, crisis averted. It required quite a bit of time. It occurred at such a time that if I would have had to rely on somebody else to do it, we probably still wouldn't have water. But it's just one of those things that should get you thinking about preparedness. So right here on this table, I have a couple of things. I have a little MTM Case Guard Survivor dry box that I have had I've got a sticker that I had put on the bottom of it, packed on 11/8/2011. So when I had originally packed this little box was more than 10 years ago. For several years I kept this box under the seat of my truck, and then as I progressed with the way that I do things, I had moved it to a camping gear box, but the contents have remained relatively the same, with few exceptions, and we'll get into that right now. So one thing that I would like to point out to you is, having been out there working on that well in sub-freezing conditions all night, I got very cold. My hands were extremely cold. In fact, it was, when I got up this morning, I was still cold. That chicken is going to wind up in the barbecue if he doesn't hush. Folks, please bear with the sound of that chicken out there. I've chased her off 3 times. She knows I'm in here and I think she wants something from me. But anyway, wrapping it up, inside this box I have several things. I'm going to unpack it for you right now, and then we're going to cover the portion that made me decide to make this video. I brought this thermometer out so that I could demonstrate what I intend to demonstrate here in the box. Now, again, as I said, this box is a made in the USA MTM Case Guard Dry Survivor box. It has held up extremely well over the years, with the exception of the compass has gone dry and no longer turns as it should. It used to work. I'll open this box up and I'll show you here what I've got inside of it. And I've got some very basic items that you might need in here. I've got a piece of 550 cord. I have a bottle of Motrin that originally expired 7 of 16. You can see here that I had replaced the Motrin in July of 2018. I will be replacing them again today. Kind of the same thing here with some AA batteries. I had replaced these about 3.5 years ago. I need to do that again, so I'll set those out. I have a few bandages. I'll probably replace those. I have a stick of chapstick, which appears to be okay. I'll probably keep that as it is. I've got a Sharpie marker that still writes, but not real well. I'll be replacing that. I've got an emergency blanket that is probably okay. I have a magnesium fire starter that is completely covered in oxidation. I don't know if that will affect the function of it or not, but I will test it and find out. I've got some toilet paper, a little bit of duct tape and some toothpicks. This duct tape is wrapped around an old gift card of some kind. A sealed package of fire starter that appears to be very dry. I would imagine it's probably still good, but I'll probably go ahead and put something a little fresher in there. But these are the items that I really wanted to get to and show you. While I was out there freezing last night, I was wishing to myself that I had some hand warmers to put in my pocket. And it dawned on me, I do have some. So when I came in from out there, I drug them out. And these hand warmers came from Walmart. I bought them many years ago. I believe I bought these when I first packed this box. If you look here on the back, the expiration date shows March of 2013. Now, assuming that I packed this box in 2011 and these were part of the original contents, that means that these are more than 10 years old and have been expired for nearly 9 years. So that brought up the question to me, well, I wonder if they still work. So we're going to test them right now. But before we get to testing those, I'm going to go ahead and show you the other items that I had in here. I've got some of these little reflective marking tags. I think that's important. And I've also got a snake bite kit, which consists of antiseptic, a scalpel, 3 suction cups, and a lymph constrictor. This kit is at least 10 years old, so if you look here on the back, it says 2010 Collins Limited, Winnipeg, Canada. I would venture to say that I should probably at least take it out of the package and take a look at everything that's on the inside of it. Alright, so as I mentioned, these hand warmers have been expired for nearly 9 years. So I want to know, will they still work? And if they do still work, how long will they work for? Well, that's why I have this little meat thermometer out here. I'm going to open one of these, but first I'm going to read the instructions. And it says, do not open the outer protective package until ready to use. Well, we're ready to use it. Remove the inside pouch from the outer protective package. Shake the pouch mix to activate the contents. Allow 15 to 30 minutes for the warmer to heat up. Place the hand warmer in your pocket or gloves to maximize heat efficiency. If heat decreases, expose to air and shake contents. After use, dispose of pouch in regular garbage. All natural ingredients will not harm the environment. It contains iron powder, water, salt, activated charcoal, and vermiculite. So I am really interested to see if this is still going to work or not. So what I'm going to do, having opened this now, is I'm going to shake it up, get it going. And here inside the office with me making noise and being in here with the lights on and everything, we're up to almost 40 degrees on this thermometer. I'm going to shake this up. Give it a good 30 seconds or so, and then I'm going to zip tie it around that meat thermometer and see what kind of temperature we achieve. I can tell you just from playing with it that it is starting to warm up a little bit. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to wrap it around the stem of this thermometer. I'm going to put a zip tie around that to kind of hold it in place. Another little tech tip for you, if you're looking for zip ties for your gear, the black plastic ones are much better than the clear plastic ones. They stay flexible in colder temperatures, and they don't become brittle and break as soon as the clear ones do. As you'll notice, we are just a little bit above freezing out here, and this zip tie, which has been in my garage for at least a year or so, is still very flexible. All right, so as you can see here, the temperature is rising just a little bit on there. It has not warmed up to the point of where I think it should yet, but we will check back on it in a few minutes and see what happens. All right, so after 15 minutes, the temperature has risen to about 82 degrees and appears to still be edging up. We're still outside, it's still very cold, so we're gonna stay with that for the baseline here and check back in a little while. All right, 30 minutes into the test and the temperature has risen to nearly 100 degrees. After 4 hours, it's dropped to about 82 degrees. All right, so 6 hours into it and it's holding at about 65 degrees. And I think it's probably about 50, maybe 55 degrees outside. So I'm gonna say that that's as good as we're gonna get. I did take the packet loose off of the sensor after the 4 hour mark, and I wiggled the stuff around like the instructions said to do if it started to lose heat, but it really didn't make any difference. Suffice it to say, these Hot Hands hand warmers will last several years past their expiration date. However, it did not perform anywhere near to the 10 hours that the package said that they lasted. Now, with that being said, my personal experience in the past is even the brand new ones don't last as long as they say they will. So I would say that probably, for the most part, you could plan to store them indefinitely. You know, at least 5 years, no problem. And just something to think about when you're putting together your survival kits or your get home bags or whatever it is that you have there. Okay? Take care. God bless.